So this video is really about how to get back into the gym after suffering a loss and going through grief and possible trauma. I don't think this topic is talked enough about on social media. I wanted to talk a little bit more about my grieving process and how it affected my health and fitness routine, or just how it affected my physical body. But of course this video can also benefit anyone who's just had a very long break from exercising. Hopefully it helps you to maybe get motivated again, or maybe feel like you do have the strength to get back in the gym and get back to being healthy. So for those of you who don't know, my brother was by on the 7th of October. Losing a loved one and experiencing grief leaves emotional and mental scars, right? That goes without saying, but I didn't expect it to have such a devastating effect on my physical body. When I first heard, I basically got on a plane straight to the UK to be with my family, because I live here in Australia on my own. I have the Viking, my partner, and I have my dogs, but in terms of my family, they're all overseas. Those first few days are a blur. It was brutal, it was traumatic, really, and my body just shut down. I couldn't stop crying, I didn't want to get out of bed. I was exhausted, but I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat, had absolutely no appetite. And so of course I lost a ton of weight, and I'm already tiny, so that's not a good thing. I couldn't function. It wasn't even grief at first. It was trauma. It was just unimaginable pain. And you guys know me, I'm healthy, I train regularly. Everything just went out the window, and grief does really weird things to your body. I had these like mysterious body pains, joint pains, for no reason. I just had this really bad TMJ, tension in my jaw. I was clenching my jaw, I was grinding my teeth. I had tension headaches, had this like nerve pain all the way down my neck and into my shoulders, and I just felt like there was this constant heavy pressure on my body, like pushing down on my head, pushing down on my chest, and it made even the simplest tasks feel impossible. I even tried to go to the gym a few times. I could not lift the weight. Every time I tried to train, I would just burst out crying on the gym floor. It's almost as if my body was telling me, you're not ready to get strong yet. I really understood that I had to sit in my grief and allow my body to physically go through whatever it needed to go through. So I just decided to stop exercising altogether. I've been through grief before. I lost my mum to breast cancer when I was 20, and Danny, my brother, was only 14 when she passed, and I'd spent 6 years previous basically being her carer. From the age of 14 to 20, I didn't really have a childhood. I had to grow up very quick. But what I want to say is I haven't ever experienced grief to this level, and I think it's because attached to that grief is also the way in which I lost Dan. Losing him in such a brutal, traumatic way, it adds an element to your grief that is just so painful, but also fills you with so much fear and anxiety. To then not be able to grieve properly like any normal person should, because this event has been so politicized and it's become such a huge divisive topic. There's so much hatred, and I've even received threats purely for grieving my brother and receiving anti-Semitic remarks. All those added elements have made this grieving process so much more difficult, and I feel like that's had a massive effect on my physical body. more so than any other grief or loss that I've felt before in the past. So for me, that looked like the first 2.5 months of doing absolutely nothing. And that had to be okay. And I really struggled with that. And to just see myself lose muscle and lose weight and not look healthy. I wasn't in my normal routine, I wasn't at home, I didn't have my partner with me. It was a lot. It was extremely overwhelming for me. I picked up a lot of unhealthy habits. I was in social situations where, you know, people drink alcohol when times are good and people drink alcohol when times are bad too. And I certainly picked up this bad habit of drinking alcohol to numb the pain. It's been 6 months since Danny was, and I'm only just now starting to feel like myself again. After those 2-3 months when I first started feeling like I could do something, I still couldn't lift weights. It would still bring all the grief up to the surface. Weights was just way too taxing on my body. It's almost like I was completely drained from this experience, from the grieving process, and I needed things that were gentle, that would kind of restore my nervous system rather than doing something really strenuous that was putting more stress on my body. What I did do was cardio. There was something about just the movement, and I'm not talking about doing HIIT or anything strenuous, but just walking on the treadmill or just going out for a walk. For some reason, it just shut my mind off and it really helped me process my grief. Just show up. And I said to myself, it doesn't matter if I don't lift weights. Even if I just get there and I just lie on my yoga mat for 45 minutes, just show up. And that was the only promise that I made to myself. I felt really intimidated because I'd taken such a long break. I just didn't feel good in myself. It really had an impact on my confidence. Just getting into the gym was a huge deal for me. But I just had this rule, just show up. And so my sessions looked more like 35 minutes of stretching and 10 minutes of lifting weights. And that had to be okay. And over time, that ratio flipped. I didn't put any timelines on there, I wasn't judging myself, I just let it be a natural progression. At the end of the day, I had nothing to prove, not to anyone else, and not even to myself. Before I even got into the gym, I focused on home workouts, and my app, the Strong Curves app, really helped with that. I have lots of home workouts on there. Just getting into some sort of routine, just at home, doing it in my living room or in my building. There's a small gym with a few dumbbells and a treadmill, and that was enough for me to just start getting into a better routine without having that added pressure of not feeling confident, feeling very insecure going into a gym setting. Just practicing the movements again after so long. I know that sounds silly because I've been doing it for well over a decade, but I felt like I'd forgotten, like my form was rusty and I just, the movements felt weird in my body. I really felt like a newbie. And so I think if you've taken an extended time off exercise, just practicing the moves again at your own pace in the privacy of your own home, it really helped to build my confidence so that when I did finally feel like I could get back into the gym, it wasn't so daunting. I wasn't like going straight into the squat rack or deadlifting or doing anything crazy. I deliberately picked an easy routine. I picked exercises that weren't challenging and that I liked. I wasn't going for progressive overload. I literally would grab my yoga mat and a pair of light dumbbells and I would just pick 3 exercises. I would do 12 to 15 reps of literally lightweight, nothing heavy, and would just stay in my little corner and just try and block everyone out. Again, I let that be a natural progression. Things that were off limits to me were squats. I could not do squats. Every time I tried to squat, I would get shooting pains in my hips. I was like, why is this happening to me? I don't normally get hip pain and I'm not even lifting heavy. Why is this hurting so much? And it makes sense because trauma and all your emotions are stored in the hips. So I spent a lot of my time stretching, working on mobility, lots of frog pose, lots of pigeon pose, and now I can squat again. Definitely nowhere near where I was, but it had to be a process. I did loads of booty band work because it felt better and it was easy, and it made my gym sessions feel enjoyable to a point rather than challenging and uncomfortable. At first, I probably could only muster about 2 sessions a week, and it looked like kind of an upper body, lower body split. Sometimes it was full body, and I just did that for weeks and weeks and weeks until I felt like I could do a little bit more and a little bit more. But again, I just let it be a natural progression. I wasn't tracking anything. I was just showing up and basically doing the bare minimum, and really prioritized my rest and my recovery, because still in grief, you know, my nervous system was frazzled. My body was still in a very stressed state. Eventually, now 6 months on, I am probably back to my old routine that I was doing before this happened, but still nowhere near the weights that I was doing. And that will come with time. There you have it. If you want me to show you what that typical kind of gym/home workout looked like, let me know in the comments below. I'll happily film an easy return to the gym workout that's not too taxing. I'll just leave you on this note. Be easy on yourself, and don't be too rigid or strict with yourself. Don't expect yourself to bounce back. Just keep showing up for yourself. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below if this video resonated with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you again very soon in another video. Bye.